That would be really good. That means shoes off, socks off. Okay. So, girls go for the girls, boys go for the boys. What's it get?
I want to see this up close. I want to see this.
Alright. So when I count to 3, we're going to start. You ready? You cannot use your hands at all. Only feet. Only feet. Everything has to be with feet only. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Jasmine's looking good. She's staying in position. Uh-oh. Come on, Jasmine.
Come on, Jasmine.
Josh is getting it. Oh. Keep going. All right. Okay, would anybody like to eat this banana? No! Are you sure? Nobody wants to eat the banana?
No!
Alright. You can actually go in the bathroom. She's going to get you something to clean your feet. Jasmine, I think you're good. You want to take that as a token?
Yes.
That would be your birthday banana, right? Yeah, you're really good. Thank you guys, y'all did wonderful. Was it worth it? Okay.
How do you peel a banana with your feet? That's so hard. Daddy knows how. I know how because I just did.
Okay, you want to take those to your seat and put them on? Okay, so based on that, can anybody guess what today's lesson is going to be about? Anybody have any idea based on that? Yes, ma'am?
Fruit.
You think it's going to be about fruit?
Yes.
Okay, what's our series about? Do you know that?
Ooh.
Yes, Papa? Reppin' Jesus. So would fruit be reppin' Jesus?
No.
Okay, anybody have another guess?
No.
Jacob?
Bananas.
Bananas.
Monkeys.
Yes, ma'am? Strong reppin' Jesus? Yes, Rule. Any idea? Any suggestions? Okay, how about we do this? Let's see if this helps out. We have a couple pictures we want you to look at. Let's see if that helps you, okay? See if you can figure it out.
What is this? Gun! A gun. Hurt!
No way. No way.
Hurt legs. What is that? Handicap! Handicap people! Handicap! Handicap! Ah!
It's Voldemort.
No.
Yes, I said
What was that?
Voldemort.
Okay, so what do we think today's lesson's about?
Ooh.
Yes, Rule. Crippled. Yes, Judah.
Handicap. Robbers?
Robbers.
Oh, that's handicap.
You're correct.
I
Handicap.
really look
Handicap.
I see that.
Yes. It's people with special needs, okay? Do we know anybody in school that may have some special needs? Just raise your hand, that's it. Okay. So we're going to talk about special needs. Yeah. Okay, so listen up. Listen up. Guys, I'm going to tell you a story. And while I tell you this story, remember, I'm not like Pastor Chris. I'm not really loud. So you have to really listen, okay? I'm going to try my best, but you got to listen. So I'm going to tell you a story, and I want you to think about it while I'm telling it. Can you go ahead and put a picture up for me? There was a girl. Her name is Jackie. This is Jack. Wrong. Yes, Jack. I'm sorry. Her name is Jackie. When she was 16 years old, she was in a car accident with her 4 friends. While she was in that car accident, she was stuck in that car. She was trapped, and she was on fire. While she was on fire, 60% of her body was burned. 3rd-degree burns, which is very serious burns. Since that accident, she's had 120 surgeries since then. Her life will never be the same again. From that day, her life has changed. I want you to meet Jackie again. This is Jackie today. Now, when you first saw Jackie's picture, what did we think? When you first saw Jackie's picture, what came into your head? Gross, yuck. What happened? Correct? But now that you know what happened to Jackie, what do you think now? What do you think?
Need help.
She needs to be helped, huh? She's a person just like you?
Do you know her?
I do not know her, but I know her story. Okay? At 16 years old, she was looking at going to college. She was looking at having a family in the future. She was looking at getting married. But now she's looking at surgery after surgery after surgery to get to that. Don't you think she's suffered enough?
Yeah.
So when you see somebody on the street that might represent this, instead of pointing or laughing, think about her story. Because she was someone just like you who looked, what's how the picture look like? Just like this, beautiful, right? But she's still the same person inside as she was then, correct? So she should be treated any differently because of the way she looks now.
Don't judge people by your looks.
Absolutely.
Judge people by their insides and
Absolutely. But how do you find that? How do you start to do that? By reaching out. And the way we reach out, like Jesus would do, would be reaching out in love. Right? So, next time when you see somebody on the street, whether it be a homeless person, or whether it be somebody trying to get to a store, in a wheelchair, on crutches, think about holding that door. Think about just saying hello. That can make a world of difference. Okay? So let's go with, I want to give you a scripture. Okay, that'll go with this. It's a pretty long scripture, so listen. So I beg to you, brothers and sisters, because of the great mercy God has shown us, offer your lives as a living sacrifice to Him, an offering that is only for God and pleasing to Him. Consider what He has done. It is only right that you should worship Him in all your ways. Don't change yourself to be like people in the world, but let God change you from the inside with a new way of thinking. Then you will be able to understand and accept what God wants for you. Okay? So what that's saying is the old us, starting from today, yesterday, okay? The old us might have saw that picture of Jackie, pointed, laughed, said gross, said ooh, hit whoever you're with and said look at that. But the new you today may actually walk up to her and just say hello. Just say hi. Something so simple can make a world of difference to somebody who feels alone. Does that make sense?
yes.
When Pastor Chris was talking about the people having lunch sitting alone, it doesn't feel good, does it?
No.
So not only do we not want to point our finger or tease, we also don't want to ignore them. When we ignore somebody and act like they're not there because there's a problem, it's the same thing. What you want to do is you want to bring them in, and you want to get to know them, okay? So maybe ask if they want to play with you, all right? So what I want to do is I want to show you a little clip. It's a good clip. It's a cute clip, but it's still something very serious, okay? Stacey's going to go ahead and turn off the lights, but I want you to, hold on one second. I'm sorry, Miss Stacey. Before I show you this next clip, let me just tell you something that happened in the Bible days, okay? So we can kind of put all this together. The stories that we know in the Bible they have a lady, and we know her as the lady with the issue of blood. That's what we know her as. For 12 years, she bled, and she bled. And the doctors had no idea why she was bleeding. They couldn't help her. She just bled. Who's 12 in here? Can you imagine from the day you were born that you bled every single day? Well, that's what happened to this lady, okay? And in the Bible, we know her as being the lady with the issue of blood. Well, she found out one day that Jesus was going to come through the streets, okay? And she had a thought. And that thought was, if I could just reach out and touch him, I will be healed. I know that I will be healed, okay? But here comes this crowd. When I see or hear about the ladies like Mary and Martha in the Bible, I think of them being really quiet and meek. I think of them being shy. I don't think of them as being like moms or dads on Black Friday. Do we know what Black Friday is? What is Black Friday? What is Black Friday?
Black Friday is when all the stores have sales.
For Christmas. And our moms and our dads go there to fight to get the best toys for you, correct?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, that's how I see this lady, okay? I don't see her going, excuse me, can I get through, please? I need to get to him. I don't see that. I see her pushing and shoving, just like that. And what happens, the reason why we know that he was just about to pass her up was because we know that she touched the hem of his garment, the very end, last piece. You know, like a bride, walking down the aisle, she's got a big long train. The very end of it is what she touched. So I can just see her, like a baseball movie, I can just see her sliding into home base, to be able to touch him, like you do the home plate. I see her sliding into home base just to touch the very tip of his garment. That's what I said. That's what I envisioned. She had somewhere to go. She had something to do. And she knew if she reached out and she touched him, she'd be healed. And Jesus knew instantaneously that he had been touched. He felt that power just leave his body. And he said, because of your faith, you've been healed. Another story we know in the Bible is blind Bartimaeus. Anybody know who blind Bartimaeus is? All right. Well, he's a beggar. He's somebody who's on the streets, and he is begging for money because he has no money, okay? Blind Bartimaeus sat on the streets, and he also heard that Jesus was coming, and he starts shouting, okay? He's shouting during the crowd, saying, Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me. That's what he says. But that's not shouting, is it? So we know him to be shouting. So he screams, Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me. And the crowd is saying, shh, shh. And why are they shushing him? Because he was not good enough or worthy enough to be healed or recognized by Jesus? Everybody else wanted Jesus' time. And he's like, just shh. But instead, he didn't listen. He got louder. Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me. Me. And Jesus says, who is screaming? Who is shouting? Bring him here. And he also said, because of your faith, you are healed. Okay, so we know that. So Jesus can instantaneously heal someone, or he can use their story, like Jackie's, to change someone's life. Okay? So we're going to hear about somebody else. And his name is Nick. You're going to love Nick. Okay?
Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. Morning. How you doing? Y'all fine? Oh, sweet. Nice to see you. My name is Nick Vujicic, and it's a pleasure to be with you. I have a wheelchair over there. It's my BMW 7 Series. I'm going to take it to pimp my ride and get some spinning rims on it. And, those fully pimped cars, with hydraulics and stuff. You know how they bounce around and stuff? I want to get my wheelchair bouncing. Like, if I can cross the road and go, boom, boom, boom. It's really cool driving that thing around. I have no arms and no legs, and I was actually born this way. And there's no medical reason why this has happened. So I have no limbs, but I have my little chicken drumstick. And we call this a chicken drumstick because first of all, it looks like one, and second of all, sometimes my dog thinks it's one. And I tell you, man, it's so funny. He comes up to start biting on it, and I have hit him in the head a couple times. It's nuts, man. It's so cool, man. I love to swim as well, and I actually float like a life jacket. I float upright like this, and then I have my little motor down here, and I go like this, right? And it's so funny when people see me for the first time. It's so cool. You're like, kids freak out. You know what I'm saying? I tell you, this little boy came up to me, and he goes, "What happened?" And I went up to him, and I go, "Cigarettes." And there was this one girl who saw me, and she goes, "Mommy, look, it's an alien." So I went up to her, and I went, "Raw," you know. She's like, "Ah," you know. I'm running after her, saying, "I'm gonna eat you," you know. Freaking her out. So with my little foot, I can also write. This is my pen here, and I can actually write and type with my foot, but I've learned how to draw and all this sort of thing, so that's pretty cool. I've learned how to type 43 words a minute on a normal computer, and sort of like a heel-and-toe combination. And I'm learning sign language with my foot. I'm learning it. Ready? Peace. Is that cool? Very cool. Anyway.
Okay, so that's Nick. Nick is really cool. He's got a really good story. He's got a really good message. But the thing about Nick was he was born that way, okay? And so when he went to school, he was teased. He was made fun of a lot. He wasn't fitting in. Nobody wanted to play with him because he had nothing to bring to the table. They felt like he couldn't do anything like they could. That's how they felt. Well, this one particular day, at 6 years old, 10 people came up to him and said something negative. And he said, "If one more person comes up to me and says something negative, I'm done. I have nothing to offer, and I have nothing to give. What's the point of living?" He's getting into his car with his mom, and a girl shouts out, "Nick!" And he's like, "This is it. This is it. I'm done." And she says, "You look really good today." And that one gesture, that one compliment saved his life. And he's been changed ever since. If Nick wouldn't be who he is today, he would not have touched and had the message that he has today to touch thousands and thousands of lives like he does. Each and every day, his message goes out. But you know, if he would have listened to all those negative words, see, what happens is Satan wants to stop us from doing good things. God bless you, Rule. Satan wants to use anybody and anything in order to stop us. So he may use a friend. He may use a peer. He may use somebody you've never met before. But had that happened, the thousands of people that Nick has reached would not have happened. So the power of the tongue is very important. It can kill a spirit man, or it can encourage somebody. Your spirit man is the person, that spirit, that one thing that tells you in your heart what is right, what is wrong, what is good, what is evil. Okay? Yes, it is just like a conscience, you're right. But once that spirit man withers, you're depressed, you don't want to go to school, you don't want to get out of bed, you don't want to have to face school anymore. That's a spirit man. That's a death of a spirit man. Okay? But, yes ma'am?
At school, I got bullied once and it didn't feel good.
It does not feel good, does it?
And my friend got bullied, so I tried to help her and explain to her how it felt to get bullied, and don't let people boss you around and hurt your feelings.
That's correct.
And your tongue is the powerful weapon.
It is a very powerful weapon. So, instead of speaking death to someone, you can speak life by the power of encouragement. Okay? Let me tell you about Mr. Nick here. The kids who thought that he would never be anything have never seen Nick to this day. He can play soccer, he swims, he surfs, he skydives, he does amazing things. Not only did he not think he would never get married, who would love someone like him? He got married and he has 2 kids.
That's awesome.
There is nothing that you cannot do when you're with God. Nothing. So when somebody tells you you're nobody, somebody tells you you'll never have any friends, that's a lie from the enemy. And it's sent to destroy whatever God has for you. And you never know what God is going to do in your life, in your future. He has mighty, mighty things for each and every one of you. So, the next time you see someone that's, like Pastor Chris was saying, in the kitchen, eating, alone, at recess, alone, or sitting by themselves because they're in a wheelchair or in crutches and they can't fit in and they can't do anything, you can actually go and sit with them. Today is a day of change and choice. Okay? So, we have 2 choices. We can either try and fit into the world and what the world says is pleasing and acceptable, and we can join in on the teasing, the pointing, correct? Or we can choose to be different. And today is the day that we can be different. We can ask God to open our eyes to see the things that He sees. So when there is a little girl in the corner somewhere, all alone, God's eyes will show you that where you never saw it before. Okay? So today is a day of change. So, is there anybody in this room who is quick to judge? Ever quick to judge somebody else? Is there anybody in this room that maybe made somebody feel bad or left out? If so, raise your hand. Okay. Is there anybody, you put your hands down. Is there anybody in this room that would like to have eyes like Jesus and a heart like Jesus? So today we can make a difference. Today we can make a difference. And we can start reaching out to the ones who are lonely and left out. We can have compassion. Okay, go ahead and put your hands down. If you raise your hands, come on up forward, please. I want to pray for you. Lord God, that he will not see the things in his own eyes and in his own mind, Lord God, that he will see it in yours.